Okay. Hi guys. We will try to create few automations. Well, the one that we are working on today is this automation. Update epic status as pending release once all the child issues are done. సో ఇప్పుడు మన చైల్డ్ ఇష్యూస్ ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ఒక ఎపిక్ కింద డన్ స్టేటస్కి వెళ్తాయో అప్పుడు ఎపిక్ స్టేటస్ టు డూ ఆర్ ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రెస్ నుంచి డన్కి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ వీఆర్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ టుడే. సో విల్ జస్ట్ క్రియేట్ ఎ న్యూ ప్రాజెక్ట్. We'll just choose a Scrum project and we'll choose we can choose either one. Mostly companies use this. Let's say project 2, or maybe we can just put the date for today, 19/9/23. AP19 will work. నాకు వేరే ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ నుంచి I don't want any information, so I'll just create a project. So I have the project ready, but నాకు prerequisites ఒకటి ఉంది. అది ఏంటి అంటే నాకు స్టేటస్లో పెండింగ్ రిలీజ్ అని ఒక స్టేటస్ కావాలి. ఐ మీన్ ట్రాన్సిషన్ కోసం వర్క్ ఫ్లోస్లో. సో ఐ జస్ట్ క్రియేట్ దట్. ఆర్ నా దగ్గర ఆల్రెడీ ఒక వర్క్ ఫ్లో ఉంది, దాంట్లోనే నేను ఇది యాడ్ చేసుకుంటాను. సో లెట్స్ సీ హియర్ సమ్మరీ. దెన్ ఇక్కడ ఇది ఉంది కదా, దీన్ని నేను ఎడిట్ చేస్తాను. ఎడిట్ చేసి ఓకే లెట్స్ డూ దిస్. దీన్ని ఎడిట్ చేసేసి క్రియేట్ చేసుకుందాం, అయిపోతుంది. టు డూ ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రెస్ స్టేటస్ ఏంటి, పెండింగ్ రిలీజ్. కాపీ, యాడ్ స్టేటస్, పెండింగ్ రిలీజ్ ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది. అలౌ ఏ స్టేటస్ నుంచి అన్నా ఈ స్టేటస్కి ట్రాన్సిషన్ అవ్వచ్చు. సో ఇట్ కెన్ ట్రాన్సిషన్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎనీ స్టేటస్ టు దిస్ స్టేటస్. Now this is the workflow that we need. So ఇది క్రియేట్ అయిపోయింది కదా. We'll go back to the projects. So this is the one that we created just now. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఇష్యూ క్రియేట్ చేసి చూద్దాం, జస్ట్ ఫర్ ద సేక్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. ఒక ఎపిక్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాను, ఎపిక్ 1 అనుకుందాం. ఓకే, ఎపిక్ 1. సో ఇక్కడ నేను ఇంకేం సెలెక్ట్ చేయట్లేదు, జస్ట్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ క్రియేట్. సో వ్యూ ఇష్యూ ఇక్కడ. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక చైల్డ్ ఇష్యూ క్రియేట్ చేస్తా. స్టోరీ 1 ఆఫ్ ఎపిక్ 1. ఓకే, సో నేను ఇది ఓపెన్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చూసుకుంటే టు డూ నుంచి ఇన్ ప్రోగ్రెస్కి డన్కి ఉంది, బట్ నాకు ఇక్కడ ట్రాన్సిషన్ అనేది టు డూ నుంచి నాకు కావాల్సిన దానికి అవ్వట్లేదు. సో విల్ సీ వై. సో ఇక్కడ చూస్తే ఇది ఇలా ఉంది కదా. సో విల్ గో బ్యాక్. వాట్ కుడ్ బి ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ అంటే ఇక్కడ చూసినట్టయితే మీరు పబ్లిష్ డ్రాఫ్ట్ అని క్లిక్ చేయలేదు. సో వీఆర్ సపోజ్ టు క్లిక్ ఆన్ పబ్లిష్ డ్రాఫ్ట్ సో దట్ this workflow will be updated with that particular project. So do you want a backup copy? I don't need it. I'll just click on no and I'll say publish. So once I do that, I'll just go ahead and refresh. The page ni refresh chestanu. Chesak if I click here, you see I can see that there is a pending release status. Okay, now let me quickly go back and make one more change. So ikkada two types of subtasks unnai. Issue types lo నాకు రెండు అవసరం లేదు, I just need one. So I'll just remove one of it. So ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఎక్కడ ఉండొచ్చు? So I'll just click on edit issue types and then I'll remove task from this list. ఇదంతా నేను క్రియేట్ చేసుకున్న tasks. So I'll just save it. So once నేను సేవ్ చేసిన తర్వాత I'll not find that task అనే subtask. I will not find it in my issue list. So if I click here and if I try to create a subtask, I will only see story. Okay, now the subtasks are usually under story, not under epic. So ikkada meeru create subtask click chesinappudu it should ask so we'll just go back and we'll check. Ikkada if you see there is only one type of subtask, so it is not asking you which type of subtask you want. It is by default selecting the default one. So I'm just creating a subtask 1. It will be under story 1, which is also under epic 1. Okay, now ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇక్కడ స్టేటస్ చూసుకుంటే we have pending release. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం చేయాల్సింది ఏంటి అంటే ఎపిక్ స్టేటస్ అనేది పెండింగ్ రిలీజ్ వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. ఎప్పుడు చైల్డ్ ఇష్యూస్, ఎపిక్కి చైల్డ్ ఇష్యూ అంటే యూజర్ స్టోరీస్ కానివ్వండి, బగ్ కానివ్వండి, ఇట్ కుడ్ బి యూజర్ స్టోరీ ఆర్ బగ్స్. సో now if these child stories are done, then this should automatically go to pending release. So this is what we are trying to achieve. Now for the time being, let's say the story is already done, I mean this subtask. Now if this also goes into done status, this should automatically go into pending release. This is what we are trying to achieve. So how do we do that? We can do it using automations. So we'll just go to automations, and then we will try to create one automation. So we'll just create a new rule. So now if you look at this, for this automation that we are trying to achieve, what should be the trigger? Trigger should be when the story status goes from any status to done. So this will be the trigger for this automation that we are trying to write. Now we go here. What is the trigger? Trigger should be when the issue is transitioned. From which status to which status is what we give here. So from any status to done. So if any issue goes from any status to done, that is when this automation will trigger. That will actually trigger the automation. Let's say save it. Now after that, what you will do is you will write an if condition to check if this trigger is user story or not. So if you click on this and if you create a child issue, you have two types basically. You have user story and you have bug. So it will first check if the issue is transitioning to done. Once this condition passes, the next thing it has to check is if the transition that has happened, is it for an epic or is it for a user story or a bug, story or a bug. So only if So first condition is this, and second condition is to check if this is user story or a bug. So we'll do it here in check issue fields condition. You will click on this, and now here we'll type issue types. If issue type is one of, so if you only have one issue type, then you can just click on this one. But if you have more than one issue types, then you can choose this one. You give two types of issues. Like for example, in this scenario, you have a story and you also have a bug. Now if you click on equals, you will only be able to select either one. See, you will only be able to select one. If you say this, if you click on this, you have option to select multiple. Now what it is doing is, the first thing it's checking is, the trigger is when any issue is transitioning to done status, then it will check the condition, that is that transition, the issue in which the transition has happened, is it a story or is it a bug? Now if it is a bug, then it will go to the next stage. Now for the next stage to happen, it should not happen within the issue, it should happen in the parent. So for that, you have to click on this and then you click on branch rule. Okay, now so if this is true, if this happens and if this is true, then the parent should have something needs to be done in the parent. So for this issue, the parent is epic. So if you click on this, what it says is finds the parent epic of the story that triggered this rule. So if the issue type that triggered this rule is story or bug, then if you click on this, this will select the parent issue or parent epic of this issue types. Okay, so now here till here the parent is selected at this moment. Okay, and then what it does is, you have to click on this and then you have to write an if condition again. Why do you need an if condition? Now you have to check if other issue types under this epic are also done or are they not in done status. So what you will do here is you will click on related issue conditions. So within this epic, related issue conditions, what is it checking? It is checking if the stories or other issues inside this epic are all matching to a specific status. Now you don't have an option to select the status, so what you will do, you will just write a JQL for it. Okay, so all match a specific JQL. What should be the JQL? JQL should be status. You can just click on this place to validate it. Okay, status equal to done. It will check. So if you look here, story 1, so we are talking about this one. Okay, now if the status is done, next we will tell what needs to happen. Okay, save. Now if condition we have written, now we'll write then. What should happen then? Then the transition should happen. What type of transition? The transition should be So if the so basically if this condition meets the I mean if this condition passes, then the transition should happen, and the transition should be, where should the transition come from? You don't have to copy, you can directly select it here. So what you're saying is, now if the issue is transition to done, it could be any issue at this point. If any issue is transition to done, then you should check if the issue type is story or bug. If this issue type is story or bug, then you go to the parent of that issue type, and in the parent of that issue type, what you will do is you will check if the stories or other issues inside this epic meets a certain criteria. In this situation, the criteria that we are giving is status equal to done. If the status is equal to done, then transition this epic to pending release. So this is the automation. Now we'll just check it once to see if this works. Now what we'll do is we'll just write the name the way it is. We'll just write number 1, Jira Automation. I'll just save it and turn it on. Now let's see what happens. Now I have one story and one epic, okay? Now this is the story and this is in to-do status, and this is the epic which is also in to-do status. Now if I click on this, and let's say if I change the status of this issue to pending or let's say in progress, okay, this is story, I'll just refresh it, it is in progress. Now if you click here, it is still in to do. Let's say you click on pending release, you refresh it once and then you refresh it also, it is still in to do. Now let's say you click on done, okay. If you click and see here, it shows that an automation rule has been run, because this status going to done triggered this rule, and after this trigger has happened, it checked if this is a user story, I mean is it a story or is it a bug. If this is a story or a bug, then it will go to the parent epic and it will check if this parent's child's, if any other child issue is in progress, or let's say any other status other than done, only and only if all the child issues, in this scenario the child issues are basically the story and bug, okay. So in this situation, if it is a story or a bug, and if all the child issues, oh, where did it go? All issues here. So in this situation, if all the child issues are done status, that's when you will move this issue to pending release. Now let us see another example. I'll just move this to in progress status. I'll just refresh it. I'll just close the other tabs. Now here I'll just add a couple more, okay, story 2 of epic 1, and then I'll add another bug which is 1 of epic 1, okay. Now we'll see what happens now. Currently this epic is in progress status and these two issue types are in to do status. Now let's say if I click on done for one of the story, we'll see if this changes, okay. Refresh. See, the rule has been run, but it did not pass completely because this one is still in to do status, and the status of the issue is not changed yet. It is still in progress. Let's see what happens if I change the status on this one. I'll click on done. I'll just wait for a bit. I'll refresh for the automation, and you also got the notification. Okay, see, the third rule, this is the first one that we changed, the one that's run automatically. This is the second one, and this is the most recent, the third one. And if you see here, you will see the issue has been updated by automation for Jira while you've been viewing it. So if you just click on refresh the issue, you can do it here also. What happens now, the one which was previously in to do or in progress has changed to pending release status. So this is the first automation. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, please comment. I'll try to respond. Have a good day.